Hi guys, welcome to my first Q&A with the Harley Spencer tarot deck. This was my birthday treat because I've been looking at it for a while and I thought, yeah, it's time to get it. If you can't treat yourself on your birthday, when can you? So I've got some questions from my Instagram page, which I'm going to answer now. Although they are specific questions, obviously the messages could resonate. So if you feel like something fits for you, absolutely take it, because you know there are collective readings, and I think sometimes I find, particularly when I look at other readers, if you just choose a question and go, right, this next one's for me, sometimes it can actually resonate even though it's not a direct question that you've asked or has come for you. So the first one is for Monsoon Girl 28. Now the question is, what is the connection between them and their person? So this could resonate for anyone who is in a twin flame situation, anyone who is in separation, I would say, first off. Okay. Now these cards are real flyers. So first card you've got out is the Nine of Wands. So I think with your connection with you and your person, I think you've definitely got, also how lovely is this? Like, this is what I really enjoy about this deck. There are so many different images within each card that can take you in so many different directions. Now for me, this Nine of Wands is, it's almost about being silent. So I do feel that this is definitely a separation situation for you and your person. I feel like there's been some communication errors. You know, you are trying to do it, but it's almost like you're being silenced, like your person isn't listening to you. And it doesn't matter how many times you try to articulate yourself, how many different ways you try and explain it, they're still struggling to understand. Now for you, you've also then got the Wheel of Fortune. Now this for me is a real confidence card. You know, if you think about the guy, William Tell, was it, with the apple on the head and the arrow? Anyway, basically for me, this is very much about you are being a little bit silenced, but I feel like there's a real confidence in that you know who you are. And you know what? You might have been through struggles. There might be some moments where someone's choosing not to listen to you, but you are not worried about that. I feel like you're genuinely still quite confident that you can stand in your ground, because this is a confidence thing. You know, for someone to stand there with an apple on their head, knowing full well that that arrow is going to ring true and that arrow is not going to hit them in the face, in the head, it's going to drive through the arrow. That's a confidence, and that's a really, really wonderful thing. You've also then got, as a clarifier card, the Chariot, which for me is just beautiful. Like, we've all had that, well, we've all had that moment where you see a dog hanging out the car window, enjoying the wind rushing through their hair. You know, maybe it's like from being on a bicycle, maybe, you know, that moment that you've got of freedom, of liberation is like, you just can't, like, if you could bottle that, it would be a wonderful thing to bottle. Because actually, that feeling of moment of going, oh, like just feeling the wind, the rush that you get. So I feel the connection for you at the moment is that I feel like you are struggling to be heard. Your person is choosing not to listen to you, is the overall message that I'm getting. But continue to do what you need to do and continue to feel that freedom and feel that emotion that actually, you know what, again, when you're like, if you've ever cycled into the wind, it is a lot harder, but you keep pedaling around, you keep going. And that's not a bad thing. And again, the wheel, you know, keeps turning. So I think keep going with your connection. I think it's just at the moment you're getting a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? You're hitting a little bit of resistance, I think. So anyway, I hope that helped. Now, the next question is for Jazz Core. Jazz wants to move on, but doesn't know whether it's the right or wrong thing to do. So again, so for those of you who are questioning whether or not you should be moving on from your person, this message could be for you, so pay attention. Okay, let's have a little look at what's going on. Is it right or wrong to move on? Okay, so you've got a Page of Wands and a Six of Wands. So for me, first off, you've got, I'm going to take this Six of Wands first. So this, you know, again, is the classic victory card, the Six of Wands, right? But also what I like with this is you've got this little ladybird in there. Now the ladybird for me is a symbol of good luck. It's a symbol of good fortune, like things coming up roses, things actually going in your favour. So I think the victory that you're getting is from turning your attention elsewhere with that Page of Wands. I think it's time, you know, it's time for a refocus. This for me isn't the Page of Wands where it's very, you know, it's all about kind of getting frisky. Probably a polite way of putting it. I think your focus needs to be elsewhere. I think you're in a very lucky position right now because you feel that you are in a position to move on. And actually, I think definitely you should do that, because you've then got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse with the Four of Wands. So I think for me, on one side or the other, one of you doesn't want to put the work into making this work. Because the Four of Wands is all about the community. It's all about coming together. It's all about equality. balance. You know, like this guy, he's pouring a drink for his lady. You know, this person in Swan having a lovely time. You've got more, you know, more union at the top, driving on that open road. But actually, at the moment, the enthusiasm just isn't there with that Eight of Pentacles, which is a glorious card, but it's in reverse. So I think, you know, this could be that actually you've come to a point where you don't want to put the effort in to make this relationship work anymore. And actually that's a good thing for you, because you've got that, you know, you've got that lucky ladybird piping up on that Six of Wands. You've got this this Page of Wands to kind of progress you through it and readdress where your focus is. Or it could be that your person isn't putting in the effort into making this work, so actually now it's time for you to move on. So I would say yes, it is the right thing for you to move on. And that isn't easy. It isn't easy to do, because sometimes letting go is, it's really tricky, because, you know, people get comfortable in a situation where you know what to expect from your partner, you know what you've been offering each other, and it, you know, it's easy to stay in that. And this is, you know, Brene Brown's always saying, choose courage over comfort. Sometimes you have to make the hard decisions. Anyway, I hope that helped. Next we have Bir Payal. What is the future of your relationship? Okay, so this question, again, as I say, is a guidance question, but this could resonate for a lot of people who are in relationships and just want some general guidance. So, okay, we've got the Fool. Love it. Starting again, starting fresh, exciting new opportunities, new journeys. Like that as an overall for your relationship situation, I think is fantastic. If you're in a relationship, I think this signifies being able to find new ways of progressing it, like a new development, a new start of a cycle of having, you know, like, because I think, again, if you're in a relationship, it's easy to get complacent and settle into routines. And actually something that I think this lockdown has taught a lot of people is that you can't be complacent. You know, you have to find new ways of doing things, whether that's new ways of working from home, new ways of having a date night at home without having a date, you know, like getting dressed up at home, going to the living room for dinner. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. You've then got the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Ten of Wands in reverse. So I think for me, this is a situation where I think the new opportunity possibly for your relationship situation, if you're in a relationship, is that you're going to be going separate ways. And that's really tough, because nobody wants that. Everyone wants this to be, you know, fully action, fully getting settled down together. Like, look at these two. You know, they're having a lovely, lovely time with that Ten of Wands energy, but it's in a reverse. And it's in reverse with the Knight of Swords in reverse. So I think there's been some pulling back, but you know what? It's not a bad thing, because sometimes if you pull back and you change your perception of things and you change where you're at, you get that new opportunity. And sometimes, you know, again, letting go isn't always the worst thing. Anyway, I hope that helped. So next we have got Trupticina. What are your person's intentions for you? So again, yes, it's a specific question, but it could also be relevant to you, so listen in. What are the intentions from your person towards you? Oh, do I get a flipper there? No. Obviously it's a new deck, still getting used to how they work. Oh, okay. This is good. So, first off, you've got the Ace of Cups. So I think the intentions from your person are really lovely. They're trying to find a new way to reconnect with you if you're in separation. If you are together, I think they're finding new ways of, like, new joys of what it is they like about you and what they want from you. Like, and it's that reinvigoration, kind of like the Fool in the last one. It's that moment of re-accepting what it is that you have to offer. You then got the Seven of Swords in reverse, which is fantastic, because this is, for me, like, and I always say the Seven of Swords isn't necessarily just the sneaky, suspicious side of things. This one is. It's that face down there, down the bottom for me. So the fact that that's come up in reverse with this Ace of Cups is lovely, because you've got this moment where there is a rekindling, and it's an honest rekindling. Like, maybe you've had some shady shenanigans in the past. Maybe you've had some questionable situations where you've maybe not behaved in the best way, and that could be for either of you. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is just your person, although we're doing your person's intentions towards you, but I think you'll understand what I mean with that. Then you've got the Page of Wands in reverse and the Four of Swords in reverse. So I think for me, this, you know, this new energy that you're finding is, you know, enabling you to really reinvigorate your situation in your love life, in your situation with this person. I think their intentions to you are generally of trying to start fresh, trying to start new things and get new energies going and get new emissions going. Because this, you know, the Four of Swords for me in the upright is all about taking that break, chilling out, you know, you doing you, refocusing. But in reverse, great. that's energetic to me. That's enthusiastic. It's wanting to get up and keep moving. And the page of wands again in reverse, because this is all about refocusing energies, but there's also a lot of stuff to be said about being lazy in that card. Sitting down watching the TV, just watching it loop after loop after loop, like at that that point where Netflix says, are you still there? Because you haven't touched the control and you haven't done anything for ages. And thanks, Netflix, I appreciate you caring in that way. But I think this is good. I think you've got an opportunity here where the intentions towards you are kind of honest, and also like just really loving. Like, I always love when the Ace of Cups comes up in a love reading. Anyway, I hope that helped. So next we have got She Troublemaker. When will your love life bloom? Lovely open question. Oh, hang on. We've got some fallers. This table isn't the easiest to grab under. Yeah, I love open questions. When will your love life bloom? Absolutely, let's have a little look. And again, this could resonate for anybody. So if you're waiting for your love life to bloom, tune in. Okay. So, deep breath alert. Bottom of the deck, you've got that Ten of Swords. So there has been something that you really, really need to let go of now. And I think you'll know exactly what that is. I think you've had a situation where it's almost like a backwards and forwards of waiting for someone else to give you what you want. The reason I'm going to say that is your other two cards that you came out, you've got the Six of Cups and the Three of Swords, which is the heartbreak. And again, love this. Look at that black hole in the heart. It's just emptiness right in the centre. So I feel as if you're waiting for a reunion, and I think there's going to be a real disappointment. I don't think it's going to come. I think the longer you wait for this reunion, the more disheartened you're going to feel, the more upset you're going to feel, the more sadness you'll feel. And that's not a bad thing. We all need to experience sadness sometimes. We all need to do it, and it helps us grow as people. Being put in uncomfortable situations is an opportunity to grow. So I'm all for that. But I think the fact that Ten of Swords came up as well, I think you've got to accept sometimes that things just haven't worked out. And this that you've been waiting for is just leaving you sadness. And the sooner you let go of that, the sooner your love life will bloom. You've also, then if we go down the bottom of the deck, you then got the Lovers in reverse as well. So I think it's more about, not being happy within yourself is what's preventing you from blooming. Because, don't get me wrong, we would all love that person to come back into our lives. And it's tough when the communication is broken, when the option doesn't seem like it's there anymore. It is tough to accept that someone may not be in your life again. But the sooner you accept that, the sooner you're able to move on and make space for someone else to come in. It's the same as you can't get new sofas in until you've taken the old one out. You have to make that space available for people to come in. Okay, hope that helped. Next question before this card falls out is from JMM24. Oh, when will your DM confess the truth? Okay, how many of us are waiting for someone to confess the truth? What just dropped here? Ooh. Okay, this isn't part of the reading, but the dropper is the Nine of Pentacles. How stunner. What a stunner that card is. Self-love, 100% the key. So when will, give it one of these again. So when will your DM confess the truth? So, oh God, so your first card out, you got the Seven of Cups in reverse. So I don't think your DM is going to confess the truth until he has literally no other option. Because at the moment, this for me in the upright is all about opportunities. Can be confusion as well, but for me it's mostly about accepting the opportunities that you've got, the abundance of opportunities. In the reverse, once there's nothing else left to do, once there's no other option, the truth will come out. You then got the Two of Wands, again in reverse. So I don't think he's even trying. I don't think he even wants to find a way through, because this, in the upright, again, is all about that journey. Like, you got the Man on the Moon, you got the liberation movement of the lady chick taking off her bra, you got the packing up the boot in the car, the pyramids, getting to the top of the pyramid. Like, that for me is all about direction. It's all about finding your way through. Just in reverse. I genuinely, I think I think you're going to be waiting a long time, because the other options are exhausted. Like, as long as he's got something to hide behind, and as long as he's got something that he can, like an excuse, he's going to continue to lie. And that's really hard. The other card that came out, really unfortunate, is the Devil. Sorry about the glare. But I love this card. Who doesn't love a drag queen? Someone pretending to be something they're not. An illusionist, if you will. So I think your DM's in a bit of a weird situation at the moment. I think there's some real dishonesty going on. And unfortunately, they're not gonna get out of that until they don't have any other option. And once the truth comes out, I think you're not going to be able to go back from it. You're going to have to accept that this is going on, that this has not been in your best interest. This is your DM at the moment, I think, is really playing the wrong game. And that's always going to be tough to hear. It is always going to be tough to hear, because when you're in love with someone, you want to see the best in them. And that's great. We should be seeing the best in the people we love. That's why we love them. But sometimes you almost need to be more open to actually other people's opinions of your person, because we can all think someone's our divine counterpart, and again see the best in them, and it's great to do that. And I think, like, it was a great question my sister asked me about someone. She was like, right, I want you to describe 5 reasons why you love them. Not, it's not enough to say, oh, but I love, classic Ariel, but daddy, I love him. No, sorry, love, that isn't enough. You've got to give me reasons why. And I think if you can find 5 reasons why you should love someone, fantastic. If you can find 5 reasons why you shouldn't love them, and actually then you need to open that up to friends and family and people who are close to you, who can see things more clearly than we can when we're in love, because love is blind, right? You get blinkered because you love someone. I think the more you do that, the more in tune you can become to being open to see people's flaws. Actually, is that whole, it's like that whole thing of action speaking louder than words. I think sometimes you have to look at people's actions, and for your DM at the moment particularly, and again, this could resonate for other people, it doesn't have to just be specifically for this situation. I think if you know that your DM isn't telling you the truth, are they actually your DM? Because your divine counterpart will always, like in my head, if I'm someone's divine counterpart, if I love someone, I want to be honest with them 100% and be upfront. Because actually, again, my sister said it, she was like, why would you want to fall in love, get someone to fall in love with you by pretending to be something you think they want? Why would you do that? Because then you have to continue that. You have to continue that existence of pretending to be that person, because otherwise they find out who the real you is. They move on, they don't love you. Harsh. I'd much rather be not accepted for who I am than be loved and have to pretend to be someone else. Completely and utterly. And it took me a long time to get to that point. Anyway, hope that helped. So P, core 18. When will I go abroad is the question. And again, wow, this could be for a lot of people right now, because let's face it, travel has been very restricted. Okay, so when will you go abroad? Let's have a little look. Okay, so you've got Queen of Cups in reverse. So for me, I think, again, it's not so much a time-wise when, but you've... Okay. Okay, so you've got a lot here. So the Queen of Cups in reverse for me is that before you're able to go abroad, you've got to be happy with where you are. And it's a case of not trying to replace an unhappy situation by moving, because it's very easy to relocate and think that will help and that will make you happy. Unfortunately, you need to be happy with where you are at the moment. You've then got the 3 of Wands with the 8 of Swords. So for me, this combination is getting really clear about getting out of this. And again, this is the feeling of trapped. Like, you want to travel, you want to go abroad, but why do you want to go abroad? Is it to escape something? Is it actually that this direction you feel is to try and get you out of feeling trapped where you are? And particularly now, of course it's easy to feel trapped. Unfortunately, you've then got, see, it breaks my heart. You've got the King of Swords with the 3 of Cups in reverse. So this, for me, is all about the downtrodden feeling. It's all about that moment of not knowing how to make yourself happy. And the King of Swords, don't get me wrong, is right up there with being clear on everything, having gone through it, having survived the battles. Doesn't need to battle anymore, because other people go out and do that for you. You can delegate things. Like, he's very clear about who does what and what keeps the kingdom running. Kings rule kingdoms. but you can't do that because you're unhappy at the moment. So you're not able to establish the greater good for your kingdom, for those around you, because you're not happy at the moment with where you are. Unfortunately, you've then also got the world in reverse. So I think you've got a little bit of work to do where you are before the world can open up to you. And that, I know seems like a Captain Obvious moment, but you have to be happy where you are before you can move on, and because moving somewhere else won't make you happy. Thinking that the world is all open and that's going to change your life and change you. And don't get me wrong, sometimes, like one of my pets died, and someone said to me, oh, why don't you rejig your house a little bit, freshen it up, so it doesn't feel like you don't see the loss so much. And that's positive change. Yeah, of course you can change. Actually, I didn't do any of that. My house is exactly the same, but that's by the by. I think waiting to move somewhere, to go abroad, in the way of thinking it will make you happy, isn't necessarily true. You have to be happy yourself and then go and take your happiness elsewhere to help other people and help other people on their journey. Hope that made sense. Anyway, I hope that helped. So last question for part 1 is going to be for Shweta Daga. When will I get a job is the question. Let's pick those little droppers up. So, and again, this could resonate for a lot of people if you're looking for work, which is why I quite like doing Q&As, because you get to get questions from the collective of what people are actually hoping for, and hopefully they will help others as well. So let's have a little look. When will you get a job? Wow, they were not shy about coming out, and that's what I like about this deck. So you've got a 5 of Swords in the upright, and that message just could not be any clearer. You will get a job when you call it a day with other things that are going on, with sorting out what it is that you've done. Like there's been a real stress about, probably not about not having any work, about not having a job, and that's kept you in a really weird place, and that's not fun to be in. You've got to get over that, get through that, get to that victorious stage of going, right, I can deal with conflict. Whether it could be a case of to-do lists. I'm such a fan of to-do lists. Sometimes it's very overwhelming when you've got loads of stuff to do. Like, for example, you think, oh my God, I really need to clean my house. I need to declutter. I need to do these things. Actually, what you need to do is make a list and tick things off one by one. So I think with regards to when you're going to get a job, you've got some other stuff that you need to wrap up. So it could be like, not issues from past jobs in the way that it is for a relationship, like you have to heal before you can move on. I think there's some, not resentment, but maybe some loose ends that just need tying up before you can do that. Maybe it could be to do with actually tying up those loose ends in order to get a reference. You've then got the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So I think the focus, again, I love this because it's just like, look at how cute that little kid is. Sneaking in there. I think, I think it's going to be a little bit of a while before you get good news regarding work. Time frames, I'm not great with. I make no apologies for that, because to me, time is all relevant. I prefer when questions in the way of when will I get this? You'll get this when you've sorted this out, or when you've done this, rather than 3 weeks, 6 months, 2 years. But I think it is going to be a little bit of a while because, Page is messages, Pentacles is work and finances and material goods. So I think particularly with that, but then your final card you've got is the Nine of Wands. Now, where this, for me, I was saying previously, is about kind of that being silenced moment. I don't feel it is in this situation. I feel like with regards to work, this is a case of, you need to be really open about what it is that you want and what you expect from a job. And sometimes, I think it's very easy to go, to devalue yourself almost, and be prepared to work for less than you deserve because you need the job and you need the work. And sometimes you have to put that price on what you do and say, do you know what, it's cool, take it or leave it. This is what, for example, could you do me, could you create me a website? Yeah, I can. It will be X amount. And sometimes you can overprice yourself. Of course you can. And maybe that's where the delay comes in with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. But sometimes, you can be a very busy, poor fool, and you can keep working and taking the discounts and giving the discounts and, taking the hit financially in order to secure work and be like, oh my God, I'm really busy. I've got loads of work in. It's fantastic. I've got so much work. But actually, if you put your prices up to a standard that you are happy with, you take on fewer jobs, you have more free time, your work-life balance becomes a lot better, and you're not so dependent on tidbits of work coming in. Obviously, I know people can overprice themselves, and sometimes, like a friend of mine was saying to me once, if a job request came in for something, she was freelance, that she didn't want to do, she would overprice it. So that if they actually came back and confirmed, she would make enough money that would cover her being upset about having to go out and do a job that she didn't really feel comfortable or didn't want to do. So, you know, there's different ways of putting it. But I think for me, I think you've got to be really clear about what it is, like salary expectations. You know, there's nothing wrong with saying, this is my salary expectation. I know, you know, I say that I've never had a full-time like contracted job like in that respect where you negotiate salaries. So of course people will probably negotiate. But I think there's also nothing wrong with going, do you know what? Listen, this is what I want. This is what I'm expecting. If you can't match that, great. There will be other people who will be happy to take the work for the fee that someone's offering. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it. Like, maintain your self-worth and just keep holding out, because the right job will come in. It's the same as a relationship. The right one will come in when it's meant to come in. Anyway, I hope that helped. I'll be back with part 2 of the question and answer with the Harley Spencer tarot deck. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed these cards, definitely go and check out the Harley Spencer tarot deck on Instagram and the Badass tarot deck, which is by the same creator. They are both, this one's a little bit more polite, I think. The Badass is absolutely no holds barred, guns blazing, cut to the chase, no BS answers, harsh. Do not ask them a question if you don't want a bad answer. Same with all tarot, right? But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what resonates, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.